When there's something strange and you don't know who to call and there's aliens, you get your local high school gang of misfits, the Breakfast Club, some kid who's basically running a meth lab, Robert Rodriguez to direct a film, and you've got yourself a recipe for Rabbit Troop Sucks review on The Faculty. Dun, dun, dun. 1998. That's what you got. That's what you got, Mike.
I have it now.
Welcome back to Rabbit Troop Sucks. I am Paul. Next to me is Mike. Mm-hmm. We are a podcast, and you are probably like, what's a podcast? And how do I explain that to my grandpaps? I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. What would you tell them, Mike?
It was like an old-timey radio show.
Is there a crank?
Yeah. There's a crank, all right.
I bet.
Yeah.
Well, and and when you crank it, you get, a podcast about obscure films and overlooked films and sometimes forgotten about films and some jovial hosts and some guests and a good time from 1998's The Faculty, directed by Robbie Rodriguez. Boom. We got a lot of stars in this too.
Yeah, it's star-studded.
It is star-studded.
I don't think I've seen this before tonight.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I thought I had,
Okay.
and maybe I did, but watching this movie, I didn't remember any of it. Nothing. I had no recall from any of this.
Yeah, we have a bunch of shared time with a bunch of stars. So although Elijah Wood, I feel edges out to be like the star, and the overview I'm about to read in a second highlights him the most, there's a lot of shared time, and we'll note many, many stars and some cameos. So IMDb's first summary of many, I'll just read the first one. When Casey Connor, Harrington High School's newspaper photographer, witnesses the murder of a nurse and sees her alive again, he decides to investigate the bizarre happenings. That's a very loose summary, but that is one that does in fact exist. We have a ton of people. Mike, you're going to know some of these more than I. I could just give you some ideas of notes I wrote down. The first one is Jordana Brewster. Mm-hmm. You're going to know her from the Fast and Furious franchise because I had to look her up.
Yeah, absolutely.
I recognize her once I saw that, but I'm not very familiar with this franchise. Clea Duvall, Girl Interrupted is where I most know her. Laura Harris, I do not know her. That is Mary Beth. Mm-hmm. Josh Hartnett is in tons of different stuff. The dude who plays Stan, the same thing. Cameos include Selma Hayek. I never know how to pronounce this woman's name. Jean Grey is like Famke.
Oh, yeah, something like that.
Yeah, Jon Stewart makes a cameo. Two people I no joke adore. We're all going to reference him as Shooter McGavin, but Christopher McDonald I love this actor. I love him actually for a lot of reasons. And Bebe Neuwirth is amazing. And if anyone has ever watched Cheers, which you should totally watch Cheers, Lilith Crane, Bebe Neuwirth, amongst other things. I've heard her do readings as well. Amazing. Robert Patrick, T2, boom. Usher is like a forgotten thought in this movie. Usher must have been paid for 24 to 48 hours of work at most. Jon Stewart is the big one. Daniel Von Bargen is like the Commodore. I can't remember his exact position.
The Commandant.
Oh, that's right, the Commandant in Malcolm in the Middle. Elijah Wood is then on the list eventually, and then some other people as well. But yeah, you got a ton of people. As I said, Robert Rodriguez is the director. Yeah. A lot of people, a lot of things.
Yeah, I guess I didn't know. I mean, I did obviously before we watched it, but I didn't know that Robbie Rodriguez directed this, and that made me kind of excited to watch it because obviously I'm kind of a fan, I guess.
I watched the last time I saw him on anything. He was on Jon Favreau Has a Cooking Show on Netflix.
Yeah.
And they went over to Robbie's house and they cooked pizzas in a stone oven. It looked delicious.
That's awesome.
Yeah. They're like, hey, did you like the films? He's like, yeah, we know each other.
Yeah.
Jon Favreau's like, yeah, man, like I did Jungle Book, and he borrowed some of the equipment and so like the effects crew. for his next movie. It's cool. We know each other. Here's another pizza. Yeah, like 5 pizzas. It's great.
I'd like to eat 5 pizzas with them.
That's great.
Yeah.
Boom. Yeah.
Yeah.
This movie opens up, and I think I noted this before. I can't remember the movie that we're watching. Maybe it's for this podcast. Maybe it wasn't. But I noted that it opens up with the Dimension logo, and that, makes me think of movies like Scream and various other things, and the Merrimack symbol. And all of that is absolutely tarnished by horrible people doing horrible things to that company. And I know many of the directors and actors and the crew have clearly spoken out, basically condemning it. And it's such a shame because clearly so many awesome people were working on so many similar movies, and between the acting crew, the effects crew, and whomever is directing. But yeah, I mean, just you get terrible people in charge of some stuff. Shut it down. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's a shame because there is like a whole era of kind of
like 90s.
Yeah, like kind of some of them are kind of decent films that, just kind of have a taint, a big old taint.
I don't want to hashtag a taint.
No,
but I'm willing to.
Okay.
I'm willing to draw attention to a taint. I want all of you to know that.
Yeah.
Boom. That's the kind of night you're going to have at Rabbit Troop Sucks.
No, it's going to
I mean, again, I always just assume people are listening at night because why wouldn't they be?
In my mind, this is live and people are listening to us right now.
This is what I assume. I think a lot of people in Denver are very good-spirited, and I think, like in any city at all, there's gonna be crime or mishappenings or just ill intentions happening throughout any given night. And I think a lot of our listeners are like, I need to fight back. I need to fight crime. I need to become the Batman, whatever that means to that person, of Denver. And they have a couple drinks, and they go to the local dispensary, and they get a couple edibles. And they take a shower because they want to initially smell nice. They get into their suit, and they sit down for a moment, and they wake up, and it's the next day. And and they listen to Rabbit Troop Sucks, and they were motivated during that time to get them to where they're at. And that's just asleep, just sloppy, drunk, and high on the floor. And I think, and I appreciate that listener base is what I'm saying. I love you. Thank you. Thanks for listening in your costumes and your cosplay. Send in photos of you on the floor, clothed. This is not some kind of petition. Mike will give you a private email for Mike's private.
We'll do a private viewing if that's what you're into.
I want to see the sloppy clothed cosplayers on a couch, like playing Nintendo and having a good time and just jokingly or like fell asleep on a bag of chips. The XXX could be then sent to Mike once he establishes a private link to you.
Okay.
And
I'll give you my secret Dropbox link.
Nice.
Wow.
Local podcast I'm taking myself out of that. Local podcast arrested for mysterious online Dropbox. News at 11 a.m.
Everyone loves the Dropbox.
Boom.
Yeah.
Well, this movie opens with The Offspring. We got a lot of music in this.
The music in this movie sucked.
I want to say one song. I think I heard like a whiff of a garbage song. I was like, I could dig this. Okay. This movie, I told Mike, we were just about to start it, and I was like, 1 second, I got like a drink or whatever. And I was like, I just had this memory. I'm sorry. And I started the movie for a second, and I paused it. And I immediately looked at the soundtrack, and I was like, Mike, do you remember the preview at all of this movie? Mike looked at me like I was an alien.
I did not remember the preview, believe it or not.
And I was like, wait, I think there was a song in it. I just wanted to make sure this was the movie and the soundtrack. And it was right. It is a super group, class of 99, covering Pink Floyd's Another Brick in the Wall, led vocally by Lane Staley of Alice in Chains, very deceased now.
Very.
Lane Staley is an awesome singer.
Not the night he wasn't.
No, he was not. There is like the transition of like in Another Brick in the Wall, like, hey, teachers, leave them kids alone. was basically sung just the way I said it. It, like, honest to God, it just sounded like someone walked in a room, said that, and that was recorded. I mean, Mike, am I off on that?
No, what you just said, it sounded better than it did in the song.
Yeah, it sounded kind of like some guy was like in the back of the room. Like,
Right.
Like,
Hey,
teacher. The kids love.
Leave the kids alone.
Yeah, good. Lane. Or yeah, I'm not doing another take. I'm gonna make him British. I'm not doing another take, mate. Boom. Boom. British Lane Staley. That's your Spider-Man multiverse right there.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm combining all the worlds. Well, you got you start off with The Offspring. So
Yeah.
I hope that just was like a birthing process into this movie, Mike, that you were like, boom, I'm ready to go. This movie's going to be hot. This movie's going to be awesome. This movie, based on The Offspring, this movie's going to be fresh for you.
Yeah, I mean, we the Offspring, and we got Coach Robert Patrick yelling at his football team. I'm kind of amped up, and then he calls his team a bunch of limp ass bone jerks. I think is that what he said?
I don't even know.
Okay,
He said a lot of things.
I think he called him a bunch of limp ass bone jerks, which is it's a great. Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to tell you this. That is like 5 steps better than what the coaches in my high school would say to anyone on a field at any point in time. So I'm going to tell you that.
What would they say?
Just a lot of
Is
things.
it stuff like you wouldn't say now?
Oh, I mean, stuff you shouldn't be saying then or
sure. Yeah.
anytime. But yeah, like things I would definitely not even repeat just for like the sake of it. Just very, very awful, awful things. Awful things.
Maybe they wanted him to say that, but because Robert Patrick is a nice guy, it's like, I can't say, I'll come up with something.
So it's like improv.
Yeah.
Get out of here, you bone jerks. If it was, Mad Max, it'd be jerkin' time. Mm-hmm. I think I mentioned this before.
It's jacking time.
I know, because Australian slang with jerkin' time admittedly kind of haunts my dreams. Like if someone says that to me, I don't want to be by that person and I want to leave. I don't want to be a part of jerkin' time. No.
What if it's bone jerking time?
I'm curious on what it means.
You know what it means.
Does it involve a grill? Is there mesquite?
Oh, this is Australia. It's a Barbie.
Is there a Barbie? Is there mesquite on the Barbie?
Yes.
All right. Well, this episode has been brought to you by Mesquite and all of your girly needs, which you could also email us about.
Sure.
I'm going to hashtag the hell out of this episode. People are going to be calling us like grill masters.
Yeah, that's fine.
I heard you guys said it was jerkin' time. I don't appreciate it. But in the meantime, here are some scandalous pictures of me. And I'll be like, please, God, again, this is my email.
The wrong one. Yeah.
Forward to this address. Someone's going to be like, here's a scandalous picture of me on the Barbie while lit and after. And I'll be like, no. I like horror films, but those are just films. That's not real life. Not in real life, friend.
No.
Yeah, that's some Bluey slang. Real life, friend. So, all of our Australian listener out there, we appreciate your patience with Rabbit Troop Sex.
Isn't Bluey Australian?
Yes. Good for you, Mike. Yeah.
Thank you. Is that where jerkin' time is from?
Australia?
No, Bluey.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Bluey's Australian.
No, but does he do jerkin' time?
She.
Oh, Bluey's a she.
She, I hope to God is not doing jerking time because I don't even know what that would mean.
Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't.
Bluey's just usually hanging out with her sister Bingo doing some cool imagination stuff.
Okay.
Shout out to Mom.
Hashtag.
Do.
Okay. Well, yeah. So we haven't even started the movie. So, yeah, Robert Patrick's yelling about bone jerks, and then like he's angry. He's angry about something. He goes on a little freak out. He knocks over the Gatorade thing, and he kicks the sprinkler because he's very mad at it.
Yeah. So, yes, there are Those things do happen, and there are then heavy-handed allusions that something to do with water, something, something, something.
Yeah.
But there are like these weird slow-mo, I don't know, like gray, drab clips of the coach just flipping over a bench of 3 jugs of Gatorade and water. The kicking of the sprinkler was just unnecessarily slow. Maybe I'm just replaying it in my mind over and over. Maybe like I just can't focus enough on the past of of what I just saw. I really don't know. It was weird, right? Like you're just like,
No,
what?
it was super weird.
You're just
Yeah.
like as a viewer, you're just like, okay.
Yeah, well, he's upset.
His jerking
His limp ass bone jerks weren't doing football well, I guess.
Right. If this is a Bluey reference for real, he's being a real muffin about the whole thing. So, I mean, we've got that. We've got a muffin on the field.
Wow, that's not a compliment?
That is not a compliment.
That's
That-
interesting.
Yeah.
Because if I called someone a muffin, you're like, you little muffin. Seems like a good thing.
I feel your tone and voice was like you're saying that to a child, and maybe did you in your mind did you say that to an adult?
I mean, whoever.
like you're at a bar, you order a drink, you're like, thanks, muffin.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't do that.
So you have to say it like, you fucking muffin. Like all stern.
I feel if you're in Australia and you're a big Bluey fan, you're like, I get your muffin reference. And I feel here you should just not be calling anyone a muffin at any point in time, unless it may be like it's a little dog. Seems like a little barky dog would be would be a muffin. Like my scenario would be like, oh, it's just my little muffin. Someone's on a first date and they're like, oh, come back to my apartment. I have a dog, and it's just nonstop, like bark, bark, bark. Oh, it's just my little muffin. That's what that person would keep saying as you plotted your escape.
Sure. Okay.
Like the faculty.
A muffin is such a nice little item. It seems like why are you making that into an insult?
You'd call someone a muffin?
Well,
I would call anyone, anything with some kind of like weird confectionery descriptor.
Regardless of whether or not I would call someone that, it's just like,
Check out this Danish.
yeah. Well, let's not bring the Danes into this.
Mike would really like a bite of that bear claw, and you could quote me on that. Boom.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, it's just most like cookie and like
stick to our culture. Like, check out this tiramisu.
most pastries aren't insults.
I guess.
I don't know.
Like, I'm not calling anyone honey.
No, but I mean, if you did, like, it's not an insult.
What do you think most people's reaction to that would be?
Well, I mean, if I said it, it would be different. But it's all contextual. I'm just saying, like, I can't imagine a world where muffin is a derogatory, because it's something I like so much.
Listeners, these are the hot topics you've got to write in about. I mean, we're not even into the faculty, and we're talking about
where do you stand on muffins?
and are the ingredients important? Is this a plain muffin? Is this a poppy seed muffin? Are we looking at low fat, classic blueberry, little raspberry, little brambleberry, little
Marionberry?
Marionberry?
I had a coffee cake muffin from Trader Joe's this morning. That was a nice muffin.
Okay.
I wouldn't have been like, if someone cut me off, like, hey, you fucking muffin, you cinnamon coffee cake muffin from Trader Joe's, piece of shit.
Okay, so let me throw you into a different scenario.
Okay.
You get into a fender bender. You walk out, the other driver walks out, and you throw that out. You're like, what's up, muffin? Because
Yeah, okay.
now I think there's going to be a problem.
Well, okay, I guess, yeah, that's fair. In that situation, I think that person would be very alarmed.
I also want us to bring us back to bar scenarios. You're at a bar. Barkeep pours you a drink. Thanks a lot, muffin. You throw that up, Mike. I want you I want you to report back. Do some field reporting. What's the reaction going? Turn on your iPhone. That's one of the apps.
You want me to film it?
I just want an audio recording.
Okay.
Just an audio recording, fine.
So you want to hear me getting punched in the face?
So you admit that people probably.
Well, okay. You know what? I guess I'm changing my tune on this. I just don't think it's fair. I think it should be a compliment.
I am encouraging that it is.
So is this is like it's like saying sweetheart. Like if you're talking to like a small child, like, hey, sweetheart, like that's fine. But if I'm talking to another grown person, I'm like, hey, sweetheart. So it's all in like the tone and who you're addressing.
I think almost calling someone a muffin might be worse, and I can't pinpoint why.
Okay. Well, I'll start. I'll see if I can integrate it into my vocabulary.
I think it's worse because people have to think about it. They're like,
It'll
what shit? What
it'll
the shit
disarm
does
them.
that mean?
Just call me a muffin? What the fuck?
Your eyes are like the blueberries of the muffin.
I don't.
What the hell that guy said to me?
This has been a journey, and I don't really remember where we started.
Oh, we didn't. We gave a huge backdrop. We're on the field.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, let's talk about this stupid fucking movie again. Yeah, right. Yeah, so Mr. Muffin is kicking the sprinkler, and then
unnecessarily slow. This is
yeah.
where Robert Rodriguez really highlights that he could use slow-mo features.
Yeah, and someone you don't see the person, but someone walks up, and Robert Patrick is like, "Oh, what do you want, muffin?"
And I just really want to know what the ingredients are. And I want to know what that says about someone. Like if this was a YM test that I was taking with a classmate in early high school, I was like, what do the muffins you eat say about you? Awesome. So what do they say, muffin?
They say my muffin top is all that, whole grain, low fat. I know you want a piece of that, but I'm just here to dance.
And Mike started dancing.
I'm dancing now. And I'll not ever sing the Muffin Top song again.
I'm not going to stop you. I'm not going to stop you.
So much shit. Okay. So now we're in the teacher's lounge. And Lilith is delivering bad news to the teachers. Lilith is the principal, I guess.
Yeah, Bebe Neuwirth.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with this actor?
Yeah.
Okay. She is awesome. Like I just hands down, I'm going to say probably super underappreciated. Because every time she's in anything, someone makes note that she's amazing. Totally underutilized.
Yeah, she's doing a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she's the principal, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, she's talking to some other teachers. She's like, I'm sorry, you can't have new computers. You can't have a clean and safe classroom or whatever the fuck you want. And they're like, this sucks. Why don't we have any money? I'll bet the football team has money. And she's like, yeah, they do. Because people actually give a shit about the football team. So I can give them whatever they want. So you can go fuck yourselves. But it's kind of setting the tone. This school is apparently awful.
Wait, any reason why?
Well, everything's like dirty. When we in the next couple scenes, when we see like the outside of the school, like with students showing up, 90% of the students are fighting with each other for some reason. There's always like a little tussle going on somewhere. When we're first introduced to fucking Frodo,
Casey,
to Casey,
Elijah Wood,
he gets elbowed in the face immediately, and then a group of football players pick him up by like all fours, like four people, one holding each limb, and fucking ram his genitals into a flagpole.
Yeah, I'm only laughing because it is brutal. Like this is
it's awful.
Like I'm laughing because 3 people should go to jail for this. Like this isn't like I'm not clearly Mike and I could definitely speak for Mike on this. We're not promoting anything to do with bullying anyone.
No, of
but
course
in
not.
a world of degrees of things, It's one thing to like push someone down, or three people to shove someone's like by their genitals into a metal flagpole,
Right.
like fling him. They like throw him into it.
Yeah, like everyone in the opening of this, everyone would have gotten arrested. Like
Yeah.
no one is not going to jail for this.
Yeah,
if
so
this happened now.
here's a crazy thing. So, as Mike said, like it's dirty, it's dusty. I keep noting the weather is like overcast throughout the entirety of the film,
Well,
or it's a weird lens that they're using.
It's in Ohio, so
It's
just.
Texas. So
I thought they said it was Ohio.
Oh no! Like I looked, so it is. They say it's Ohio.
Oh, okay.
But it is all filmed in Texas. I just looked this up. I would have never guessed that. I would have never guessed that this was filmed all in Texas. It just seemed like Texas. I always think sunny, like really like sunshine, and this was like 3 days or weird lenses used filming on an off set of days. It was super weird.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like now, whenever there's a movie that's supposed to be in like Mexico or the Middle East.
It's Atlanta. We film everything.
Well, no, they film everything. They do film everything in Atlanta, but anytime there's a movie that's supposed to be in a place that we're meant to think is gross, they film it with like a yellow lens, and everyone thinks it is kind of like racist because it is. That this movie was also filmed with a yellow lens.
Filmed with a racist lens.
We're made to because they want you to know that Ohio fucking sucks.
Hi, Bert's Film Emporium. Hi, I need a couple lenses. I'm making a film. What degree of racism do you need to establish?
It's like the Family Guy getting pulled over meme with like the different degrees of. Do you know what I'm talking about? No okay. I'm not going to look it up for you, but
does it involve degrees of racism?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I want to Google that at all.
I'll find it.
Oh.
But okay, while I'm looking for that, so the teachers get the bad news about not getting any money, and now it's kind of like late at night, and they're locking the school up, and Lilith is trying to get the fuck out of there, but then Robert Patrick shows up, and he's being super fucking like kind of sexual and weird.
Oh yeah, I have a quote. Yeah, he's being super aggressive, and she's like, "Back off!" and she kind of fights him off.
Yeah,
and she says at some point in time, like, "You and your pencil, go home." Bebe Neuwirth. How did you get roped into this film? Bebe Neuwirth did a reading. I was trying to think. I was like, what is something she read? She read a short story of Neil Gaiman's, and it was awesome. She is just so good that. Like why I'm glowing about her is if anyone's watched Cheers, she is such a notable like dynamo of an actor in this, like such a commanding actor. But in this and other people that I love in this, I'm like, how did you get involved in this film? And there are moments I really like in this film. Mike, did you overall like this film?
no, I thought this movie sucked.
There are movies movies. There are moments I like in this film, but yeah, this movie. Honestly is like a steady decline. And then we get to the end of the film and it is like you just falling into an oblivion.
Yeah, that's true.
I've seen the meme.
Okay, good. Yeah.
I'm not. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah, he fucking stabs her in the hand with a pencil. Did you say that already?
I did not.
Okay. He stabs her in the hand with a pencil. She like uses her keys to punch him in the face. And she's trying to get out of the school. He's chasing her around. One of the other teachers is outside. She's like, "Oh, I forgot my keys. How can I help?"
She's being a real square about it.
She's being a real fucking square. She's being a real goddamn cupcake about the whole thing.
Oh, don't you have keys? I don't have my keys.
I left my keys on my desk.
But he's gonna come and get me. Well, just stay with me. Stay with me at a locked door. All right, sweet.
Yeah.
No.
So Lilith, Bebe Neuwirth, whatever, goes back to find the keys, and like just in time, she gets out of the door, and she locks the door behind her. She says, "The fucking prick," which is my favorite moment of hers in this movie, because it just felt really real. Like clearly something is wrong because one of your colleagues just stabbed you in the hand with a pencil, and rather than being like, I don't know, just calling him a prick was the right move.
She also, I mean, her retaliation was she floored him. It's awesome.
Yeah, no, she fucked him up.
As this part of the opening, I very much like this. Do you remember the Drew Barrymore Scream opening?
Where the with the garage door.
No, that's later.
I've never actually seen the movie Scream.
Oh my god, we totally have to watch Scream at some point. I know we don't have to do it for
But
this.
do we?
I don't know. Scream 1's awesome.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Then we don't have to watch anymore.
Because I think the only Scream movie that I've seen is the one that came out last year, and that movie did definitely do
The
something.
one we watched?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like we totally got to watch part 1. That's it. Like just
Okay.
call it a day. Because there's a very memorable opening in Scream, and I don't think this one is as good, but this is pretty memorable. Like you're getting some high-profile people, but then there's a little twist, as Mike's going to inform you.
Yeah. So as soon as she gets out, the other teacher who was kind of trying to help her,
I'm going to call her Square Root.
yeah,
Square Root Betty.
she reminded me of someone. I don't know who, but she reminded me of someone. That's not helpful.
I can't hashtag that.
Who is like the never mind. But twist. She's one of them. We don't know what them is yet.
Yeah.
But she fucks her up. She fucks Baby Neuwirth up.
Yeah, Baby Neuwirth's out,
Yeah, she's out.
but sort of.
Yeah. And now it's the next morning, and this is the scene that I was referencing earlier. We've got Josh Hartnett bad boying out in his muscle car. He has pens filled with cocaine or some kind of drug that he sells to people.
I don't even know what my note is. I'm going to flip the page, but I have Josh Hartnett, school, blunt, but I wrote WT. Does that make any sense? I'm usually writing in the dark, so
Yeah.
I don't I don't know what that means.
Yeah. Well, again, everyone's beating each other up. People are running into each other. Everyone has some kind of dumb, like, oh, crash and burn. Oh, walk much. Like it's just a lot of 90s showing out. Elijah Wood gets racked on the fucking flagpole.
Yeah, this is 1998's just a weird place to be.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like grunge is no more, like, but we're trying to like say it is. And you can hear it in the music where it's like it is, and people are like it isn't, and now you're using like more electronics or not even grunge. People are like, but it's still everything, and everyone's like, no. And then we're like, here's the Brat Pack right now of like 1998. Not as like notable clearly because not everyone's in the same movies together, but like Elijah Wood, Josh Hartnett. There's so many cameos of so many people. This is like the late 90s, early 2000s in a nutshell of people for me.
Yeah.
And the music is doing this. Mike's totally right. The lingo is like, oh, bro, like no way.
Well, and just
like nothing's happening. You're like, oh my god.
Well, and
Oh my God.
everyone's being really fucking mean to each other. Like, I mean, so
I rewatched 21 Jump Street recently.
Okay.
Like the new one.
Yeah.
And I love that that's established. Like they go back. Like who's the other dude? Who are the actors in?
Jonah Hill and C. Tates.
Yeah, Channing Tatum. So Channing Tatum goes in like, you know, I'm going to put like the one strap over my shoulder. Like I'm going to be all cool. I'm going to push people around. Like they get to school and immediately Channing Tatum like is in a fight, punches someone. Everyone's like, oh my God, bro. Like, what are you doing? Like people don't fight each other like this.
Right.
Like I'm sure things are said, and I say this as people are still getting shot in Denver. Great. And really not great if you cannot pick up on the sarcasm on that one. But like, yeah, like what, like I think most people would just keep to themselves like nowadays. Like even if you're kind of just like weird and angry at certain things, or you're just like outright just an asshole, most people just keep to themselves.
Yeah, I mean, so I'll date myself a little bit here. So this movie came out in 1998, and they're meant to be high school seniors. I was an actual high school senior in 1998. And my experience was not like this at all.
Michael, this is like an expose. Welcome,
I know.
Welcome,
Now everyone knows
welcome to Rabbit Troop 6.
how old I am.
My name is Paul. I will be interviewing Mike from Rabbit Troop Sucks. Mike, what was it like to be a high school senior in 1998?
Well, I mean, everyone every morning when I showed up for school, a bunch of jocks picked me up and rammed my genitals into a flagpole.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
No, we didn't have a football.
Genitals?
we didn't have genitals. Yeah.
We didn't have flagpoles.
No, we didn't have a football team.
Sure.
So the jocks were a little bit, we didn't really have that.
Were they mind jocks? Which is going to be the 80s movie that I create.
Are you writing that down?
Yeah, of course I am.
Okay. I mean, I feel like every week or every couple weeks we come up with like a really solid Night Prism album name or song.
Sure.
Like a track title. One of these days we'll have to make Night Prism a thing. We have a website.
Yeah.
And I'm working on a t-shirt.
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's just like, it's a lot of people yelling at each other, calling each other names, like running into each other. Bro.
Dude Nader.
Yeah, and I guess just watching this now, it's like, this is fucking stupid. But maybe this was the high school experience of some people. I don't know.
Do you think their favorite game was Tic-Tac-Chode?
Yes. I think that was
the worst game.
I think Tic-Tac-Chode is the one with Elijah Wood and the flagpole.
Everyone loses that game.
Yeah.
Everyone loses.
Not the flagpole.
Well, built to last.
Yeah. Yeah, and so inside the school in the teacher's lounge again, now we're introduced to Selma Hayek and Jon Stewart. Jon Stewart has a goatee that makes me very uncomfortable. And
yeah, do you want to describe why?
I don't know that I can describe why. It just doesn't look right.
Yeah, it looks offensively weird.
It does.
Like, immediately someone's like, you need to shave.
Yeah.
Like, that's the first thought I think everyone has.
Yeah. And Jon Stewart is not a good actor. He himself has referenced this and pokes fun at himself.
Yeah, totally.
So I mean, I'm not. I love Jon Stewart as a human and like a cultural icon or whatever. But he's not a great actor. He kind of leans into it a little bit in Half Baked, which I enjoy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, but
Half Baked is like a different entity.
it's a different idea.
Like Half Baked was like, you captured that in a film and you could never recreate that. That was like that movie.
Yeah.
Boom.
I just don't know what he's doing here.
Selma Hayek, I felt, was like, there's like a joke happening here where it's like, from dusk till dawn, I'm wearing basically nothing. I'm wearing like the most scantily clad nothingness in the world. And this, I'm sickly. I'm covered up.
She had like a cold the whole time.
Yeah, like I'm covered up. And I feel like there's like a joke happening. And I like it. I like Selma Hayek. Mike and I are big 30 Rock fans. She is hilarious in 30 Rock.
Was this movie before or after Dusk Till Dawn?
It's after.
Okay.
Yeah, so I feel like that's the thing. Like, it was like, I'm going to take that and do the reverse with you to show like a very different side, which I did appreciate.
Was Robbie Rodriguez involved in Dusk Till Dawn?
He's the director.
Is he? Okay. I wasn't sure if it was him or
that
other.
Or is that co-directed? I think it's co-directed with Quentin.
But he was a part of it.
Yes.
So she was like, "Hey, I fucking took my tits out in this stupid vampire movie. Can I be in a real movie now?"
Well, I feel they're probably friends, and he's like,
No,
"I'm gonna do
probably,
just like total reverse."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Dope."
Yeah.
Which I'm like, and she's fun. Like she's
good at everything.
she's fun in this total bit role, but she's totally fun.
And then we're also introduced to Jean Grey or whatever, Famke Johannesburg or whatever her name is.
Yep. That's a fraction of her name.
There is her character in this.
Jean Grey.
Her character in this movie is really weird for me because when you first meet her, I think we're like supposed to think she's unattractive because she's like all mousy and she has bad bangs and glasses.
But like culturally, we would have just seen her in Goldeneye.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
As Natalia on a top or whatever her fucking name was.
Yep.
Yeah.
God damn it, James Bond.
But she's got like this weird attitude, and is her character? Was she and Josh Hartnett fucking at one point?
Well, I mean, she can't even talk to him. What's first? Okay.
Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. But...
First and foremost, no, I don't care how ahead we get in this. If you're gonna establish a romance where someone's like, Josh Hartnett, you're dreamy. I'm not saying this about like Josh Hartnett in real life. Like, I'm not here to judge anyone's views, but I am gonna judge one thing. How can you say that with Josh Hartnett's haircut this film?
Oh, his haircut is awful.
His haircut was cut with child scissors, and that's how the bangs were formed. He said, who are the rednecks in The Simpsons? Like, hey, y'all, like,
Like Cletus and...
He has a Cletus haircut.
He does have a Cletus haircut.
Are you kidding me? Who on God's earth gave him this haircut? I can't say this like you are rarely going to hear me say anything about someone's hair or wardrobe unless it's just like shithouse wild. But this is insane.
It's egregious. Yeah, it's very unsettling.
Oh my God.
And this is maybe a controversial stance, but I kind of like Josh Hartnett as an actor. I mean, he's traditionally in movies that aren't very good, but I think he's actually pretty decent. Have you ever seen the movie Lucky Number 11?
I've seen it with you.
Did we watch that together?
We have.
I like that movie.
I like that. He is also he is in Sin City here and there.
Yeah.
I liked him in that.
Yeah. Yeah, he's all right. He's in dumb movies, but he's all right. But he was even okay in this movie, I guess. But his character, like it is established, stayed back a year. So he's like the senior that's 21 years old or whatever.
Did you know Usher is in this film?
Yeah.
Did you remember that the entirety of this film?
The first time I saw Usher, I was like, oh yeah, Usher's in this. And then you don't see him again for like an hour and 15 minutes. And then he pops up again like, oh, that's right, Usher's in this.
Yeah, like Usher's at the end of the film and does some ushing at the beginning of the film. But what the hell is Usher in this film? And Usher has nothing at any point in time. Was this like the attempt at like my breakout career? Oh, you hear there's some sirens.
I do hear some sirens, yeah.
D-Town, naughty, naughty. That broke Mike a little bit. Naughty, D-Town. You're thinking about the Scarlet Ranch again, aren't you?
I'm not thinking about the Scarlet Ranch again. Although that's a fun story for the listeners if you want to. Maybe we'll save that for a special episode.
We wanted our friend Reg on at some point in time. If Reg comes on, we could tell a story.
Yeah. And we're just going to leave you hanging.
I'll just say, your co-host Paul, someone tried to make him a snack.
Yeah, they wanted you to take that hat off.
No.
Okay.
You're listening to The Faculty.
This is The Faculty. Yeah. So yeah, weird relationship between Jean Grey and Josh Hartnett.
Yeah, she won't look at him. She's like, you do these things. Like she's like, you're dealing drugs, but no. And I can't remember exactly what he says. Like he starts making fun of her, and she just goes, "You're so rude." I'm like, you're so rude. I can't even remember what he said. So one, there's illusions. I know you're dealing drugs.
Right.
So there's just that on the table. And he's doing weird things academically, she notes. But then he is like mouthing off, and she's like, she's so rude.
Right. Well, this conversation is taking place outside of the trunk of his car,
sure,
which he is dealing drugs out of.
Hey, we got to deal them somewhere.
He's like, well, maybe, listen, babe, maybe you need something to loosen up a little bit, like this. And he produces a box of laxatives. He's like, that's mean.
Yeah.
He's like, or maybe something to.
Oh, then he's like, condoms.
He says there's like cherry condoms. He's like, you're rude.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, like, all jokes aside, like, I know you're dealing drugs. Okay, you want to buy condoms. You just said that to a teacher, amongst other things. You're getting absolutely expelled. Like,
right, yeah, you are an adult male,
right,
who's dealing drugs and referencing having sex with a teacher.
Right, and the teacher's like,
oh, but
rude.
But she's dealing with it because she's
that's my adult Michelle from Full House. How rude.
That's pretty good.
Ghostly. How rude.
But we never really get resolution to that. But we do now. We're getting introduced to.
Oh wait, we could actually ask someone, Mike. We have a third party.
Okay, yeah.
Do you think we'll get any resolution in this film? Do you?
Our mystery guest is being silent for some reason.
Well. Oh.
The outcome cannot be predicted.
Oh, shit. You heard it here first. We'll have to wait and see then.
Yeah, I mean, much like this film.
Yeah.
We're gonna give it to you.
But now we get introduced to the cheerleader and the captain of the football team, played by
This sounds like a band that would be
Right.
like on the Friends soundtrack.
well, this is Mia Toretto, whatever the fuck her name is.
What does that mean?
That's her character in Fast and the Furious.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know this person's name.
Oh yeah, like Jordana.
Jordana Brewster, yeah, and some boy I've never seen before in my life.
He is in a movie that I'll talk to you later because we're kind of long in the tooth. But
Yeah, we are approximately 30 seconds of film time in.
but he's in
and,
another film. I would actually consider doing it for this podcast.
Okay, we can talk about that later,
And I think you may have seen it at some point in time.
But yeah, so they have a weird relationship, and he's like, you know what? I want to quit. I want to quit the team. I want to quit the football team. She's like, no, but I'm the cheerleader, and I'm the stupid slut. I have to date the captain of the football team.
And for you international listeners, it's American football. We are not talking about what us Americans reference as soccer. We're talking about throwing the old pigskin, Denver Broncos. Yes.
Yeah, go footballs.
They're everywhere.
Yeah, they are. They sure are. So that we're kind of establishing them as their relationship is on the rocks.
Yeah, you're getting everything. I mean,
Yeah.
you're getting like click after click. I mean, this is Breakfast Club.
Oh, yeah,
updated
it's very
every
clicky.
which way. Yeah, Clea Duvall is like the more gothy type.
Yeah, she's like, I don't have any friends. Yeah.
Yeah, Casey, who's Wood.
Elijah Wood.
Yeah.
Okay.
I couldn't think of his name for a second. Yeah, he's more of like the loner. Like you get everyone. You got the jock. You got, everybody.
Yeah.
You got the new person. You got the onlooker, Mary Beth.
Oh yeah, Mary Beth. I don't think we've seen Mary Beth yet.
Well, we'll get there.
So, but Casey's now it's Casey's turn to establish himself. He's out. He's got his camera, and he's like eating a sandwich on the bleachers by himself, like a fucking sad sack.
This is the weirdest scene of the entire film. I just stopped taking notes. So imagine, I don't know, like 500 feet away, you see someone in the distance, and it's like a speck dot, and they're probably eating a sandwich. You kind of make it out, but then it zooms in, and then he's eating a sandwich, and it zooms in twice again, and it's closer, and he's eating a sandwich, and it zooms in, and it's just really drab outside. It's all gray. It looks like, I don't know, for me, it reminds me when I lived in the Midwest, more, it would be like a June day, like a June rainy day in the Midwest. And it was just a kid eating a sandwich, and it's just super bizarre.
Well, that's exactly what it is. I mean, it's a kid in Ohio eating a fucking sandwich in the rain, maybe.
Yeah, good times. What do you think was on that sandwich? Shame.
Yeah.
Shame and
Bullshit.
pimento loaf.
Yeah. What is that fucking shitty Provel? Is that what it is? Maybe it was that.
Oh, from Missouri?
Yeah.
You do that. I'll have to ask Jeremy next
Okay.
time he's on this. Jeremy, we are not going to be a fan of Provel on this. You take your Provel and go to hell
Do you
with
think,
that.
Jeremy, do you like Provel? Do you think he does? Do
I
you have to if you live there, just out of necessity?
well, I feel sometimes it's you don't have to, you just accept it. You're like, I'm okay with it. And it's not okay.
Yeah.
That's the level of that cheese. Like, it's not okay. It's not acceptable.
Well, agreed. So Casey has a run-in with Coach Robert Patrick.
Does he turn the liquid?
He doesn't turn to liquid yet.
Does he give him the liquid? I meant that cash wise.
Yeah, he gives him the liquid pulp.
Does this sound right?
No.
I meant that cash wise.
What?
Like, is he liquid? Like cash wise? Like, got a liquid flow of cash, not.
Oh, okay.
Like, not sexually.
I thought you were talking about him as turning into liquid metal like the T-1000.
That's what I meant at first.
Oh, okay, now-
and then you're like, yo, he gives him the liquid. And I was like, what?
Yeah. No, they talk about stuff. Robert Patrick's being fucking weird. He's like, you should join the football team. You should run or something. Stop being a little wiener. He's like, I only run if I'm being chased.
Yeah, what philosophical thought is that? He's like, the quote is, I only believe in running if you're being chased. And Robert Patrick,
He goes, I like that, being chased. Yeah,
he's one step away from taking out a cigar.
Goofball, yeah. Basically everything that Casey says is fucking stupid. He has.
Did you know Elijah Wood is in a series of films? They're called Lord of the Rings.
I've heard of these. Yeah,
it's a little hobbity fella. It's a hop, skip, and a marry and a took away. And it's about getting engaged and finding the perfect ring with your wizard hairdresser, who's also your secret firework dealer. He gets the best dragonflies you can imagine. If you know what I mean. And sometimes you got to meet some people in a inn and meet my friend Strider and have some table cheese and stouts of beer.
Do you think it was Provel cheese?
It was absolutely not Provel cheese at that inn.
This is going to be welcome to the first 2-hour episode of Rabbit Group Sucks, everybody.
The Prancing Pony.
I would go to the Prancing Pony.
Sure.
Okay. After Robert Patrick fucks off, Elijah Wood sees what looks like a fucking turd on the ground. And because no one in this movie makes good decisions, like, I'm going to pick that thing up and just carry it around with me.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
So he picks this fucking thing up. You don't really get to see it.
No.
And he brings it and he shows it to Jon Stewart, who is the science teacher. He's like,
do you know what his name is?
No.
He is Professor Edward Furlong.
Really?
Yes. Who is the actor
from T2.
Who plays John Connor in T2.
That's great. And also in Mindfucker, whatever that movie it was, Brain Scan. Is it Brain Scan?
Yes.
Okay.
Go back.
Listen to
go
Brain
back
Scan.
and listen to Brain Scan and watch Brain Scan because Brain Scan is a movie that we had some fun.
That was an early app. It was a good one.
Yeah.
So, Mr. fucking Furlong. He's like, oh, this might be a new species that you discovered in Ohio on a football field.
Right. Like, okay, yes. Let's just start.
Because everyone in this movie is fucking ridiculous.
Let's just start there. Okay. You randomly found this slug creature. I'm now looking at it, and it's actually maybe a new species, and we should probably call the university, whatever the hell that is. Hello, university. It is I, Edward Furlong. I will lead the freedom resistance in the future. Listen to me. With this said, that's huge. Then every character, after what's going to happen in the next 5 minutes, which is crazy, every character forgets about this creature, which you would think this would be on your mind hardcore.
Yeah.
So the next moment is they put it in some water, it resuscitates it. They then put it into a fish tank. You're like, oh, wow, this slug creature that we don't know what could do is doing weird shit. Let's just put it in a fish tank.
And then let's put our hands in there.
Yeah, this is really real scientific. Is this the process that you were taught from the university that you're calling to? What the hell is that? Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. So then this thing starts multiplying. It's got these web-like tentacles. Jon Stewart puts his hands in and gets bit.
Yeah. And everyone's kind of weirding out about this.
Everyone's getting all weirdsies.
Everyone is getting all weirdsies. I think the next scene is the captain of the football team is taking a shower. Stan. He's taking a shower, and
more like Stan Darsh.
Darsh. Yeah, he is Stan Darsh. And one of the teachers, this old ass lady teacher, comes into the shower all fucked up. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he freaks out, and Elijah Wood pops in for some reason because he's hanging out by the shower.
What you do not know, Mike, is she leaned into his ear and was like, where there's people. I want to feel young and alive.
Did she call him a cupcake?
No, she just started singing Smith songs right into his ear.
Oh, wow. You didn't hear that as the viewer.
No, but you could interpret it in your heart.
Yeah.
That's probably what she was saying.
But yeah, probably.
When you go into the boys' shower room, what's the song in your heart? Let us know.
Yeah, tweet at us. Or whatever.
Maybe let Mike know after you establish that.
Yeah,
side
you can
connection.
you can let me know in my secret Dropbox.
That's not right.
But no, she's
Mike's secret Dropbox.
yeah. Don't
I'm not hashtagging
don't
that.
hashtag that. Yeah.
No, I'm not.
But yeah, like her skin's all fucked up. Her hair's like her scalp is falling off.
That's what Morrissey warned about. Need his murder.
Yeah,
Need it.
and he rightfully freaks out. I don't. Oh, okay. So he takes this information with him, and he goes to his girlfriend Jordana Brewster, and he's like, "Hey, so this is kind of fucky. I think something's happening." And I guess she's the editor of the school newspaper as well as being whatever the fuck else she is.
Wait, for Elijah Wood?
What?
For Elijah Wood? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, yeah, it's her and Elijah Wood now, right?
Yeah.
They're the ones that sneak in. The next scene is they're sneaking into the teacher's lounge looking for info.
So many teacher lounge visits.
Yeah.
So many.
But they sneak in there. Yeah, okay. I don't remember how that connection gets made, but whatever. It's not important. They're looking for a scoop because something fucky's going on. And they hear someone coming, so they hide in the closet. And who's in the closet? It's that gross old lady, but she's dead.
Yeah. Well, whoops. And where do you put your gross old?
No, just in the closet.
Oh yeah. I mean, much like any film of that revolves around a school, isn't there also an incinerator? Like he's got to throw bodies in the incinerator. It's like every movie. I just throw in the incinerator.
Right. That seems like standard practice. But
If you've seen Gross Point Blank, you just dispose of it in an incinerator. Boom.
That's also where you make your popcorn.
Popcorn.
Playa. Exactly. But so they're freaked out, but they stay in there because Lilith and what is it? The coach.
Yep.
Coach T1000.
T2.
Yeah, they're giving us some exposition. They're like, the old lady couldn't take it; she was too old and dry, or whatever. It was something like that. She didn't have the requisite wetness for the alien thing to take.
No.
or whatever. But then Selma Hayek comes in, and she's not an alien yet. She's like, "Hey guys, I don't feel good still."
I thought this movie threw me a little bit. So she's blowing her nose, and like earlier before everyone starts getting body snatched, they're like, well, "Why don't you take a day off?" She's like, "Take a day off? Yeah, I'm gonna take a day off when I'm feeling good." I'm like, "Good for you,
Yeah,
Selma Hayek.
right on.
I totally understand that mentality."
Yeah.
And so I thought, which threw me for a loop, I thought her sickness was gonna be what like fended or shielded her from the aliens.
So like War of the Worlds.
Yeah. It is not.
It is not. No.
It is not.
She immediately gets turned into an alien right now.
Yeah. They're like, we're sick of your attitude. And they
Yeah.
just like basically jump on her head and like alien it.
Yeah. So seeing this through the closet door, Elijah Wood and Jordana Brewster are like, "Oh fuck!" They burst out of the closet.
Elijah Broom first.
Yeah, he lances Coach T1000 in the guts with a broom, and they fucking like book it out of there.
I mean, listen.
No, this was the only realistic thing in this movie because this is what we would have all done.
Listen, listeners. You casually open a closet, and someone, even small, full strength, just guts you with a broom handle.
Yeah.
You're going down. You're not going to be okay for a little bit.
No,
you
get the wind knocked out of you.
You stood down.
Yeah. But they run and they get the fucking cops, which just seems like a reasonable thing.
Right.
And
they're trying to snatch their crops.
Right. What?
What?
Okay. And he gets his parents, Shooter McGavin and some broad.
Yeah, Shooter McGavin, again, very underutilized in this film.
He was also a total dick.
Yeah, it's super weird. Like, he has, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes kind of spread out over 12, like maybe at most. Very few lines.
Yeah.
It's just very bizarre that he's in this film.
Yeah. So the cops are looking around, and the teachers, the alien teachers, are like, "No, what? This kid's being a fucking wiener." The dead body that he saw was just resuscitation Annie. He's just being weird. They're like, okay. They end up. They take one of the cops into a room to make a phone call, and they turn him into an alien. And he's like, "They're fucking doing it right now, guys." But anyway, so Shooter McGavin takes Elijah Wood home and punishes him. He's like, no internet, no TV. I'm taking your pornos, which was a copy of Boobs magazine under his
classic literature
under under his mattress.
I'm only reading them for the articles.
Yeah.
Classic 80s response.
Yeah. And that's really the last we see of Shooter McGavin. The punishment doesn't really stick, though, because Elijah Wood just crawls out his fucking window and gets the hell out of there.
Again, no usher to be seen.
No usher. Now we've got the jock guy who quit the football team and Jordana Brewster, she's wearing glasses and a ponytail, and she alludes that it's because she's going incognito because she believes that no one will recognize her.
Mike even joked about this when we were watching it. He's like, "Do you think she's wearing glasses because like people won't recognize her?" And I was like, "Yeah, I guess." And honestly, like 8 minutes later, she's like, "I'm going incognito."
Yeah, because
I'm like, hey, there's that girl I've known for 12 years.
Yeah,
in glasses.
Right.
Who is it?
Yeah, is this a new girl?
The new dress. Tie her shoes this time.
Yeah, but they're talking about what's going on because it's kind of fucky. But they're also talking about why he quit the football team still, and it's because like I only bring this up because he was talking about how if he studied harder he could get into college without a football scholarship. And he's like, this one time I got a D, but then the teachers gave me an A because I deserved it for being good at football. He's like, but I earned that D. I deserved that D. And he's really just talking about how he got the D. But that doesn't really matter. So Mary Beth? Is that?
Yeah, Mary Beth is an exchange student who, if we've not been talking about,
I don't think we've brought Mary Beth up.
Well, we said earlier that she's there, and it is a character who is there and has said very little, but is like tagging along with everyone.
She's trying to make friends with Stokes, whatever that person is. Stokey, who's like the angry goth chick.
Yeah. Duval,
yeah, but she's got like a southern drawl, and she's like the good southern lady. But she's kind of like integrating herself into the gang as this goes on, in a very mild mannered way.
It's like a real That 70s Show moment. I'm just kidding. It is not at all.
It is not. No.
Who would be the Fez of this situation?
I don't know.
Who would be the Kelso? Is it Josh Hartnett?
Yeah, he's definitely the Kelso.
Josh Hartnett, I believe, is going to be. I think I have it here somewhere. He's going to be in the new season of Black Mirror. I love Black Mirror, but it's been years since there's been a new Black Mirror, and I know Michael Cera's in an episode. Josh Hartnett, I believe, is in an episode. Yeah. I'm going to watch it. Yeah, it's going to happen.
I'm hot and cold on Black Mirror.
But you're up to date on Stranger Things, right?
Yeah.
Did you know it's not coming out until next year?
Yeah, these kids are going to be fucking 30 in the final season.
I was under the impression it was this year at some point in time. It is apparently not. It was like 2024.
Whatever, man.
And if you're listening to this now in 2024, how's it going, Stranger Things?
Yeah, how are you liking the new season?
It's pretty good.
Send us an email in the past and let us know.
Isn't there a Keanu Reeves movie about that? The Mail House, the Lighthouse, the Mailbox. The Island by the Box. What was that movie called?
What the fuck are you talking? The Count. Oh yeah. Shit. The Lake House. You're thinking of the Lake House. I think.
Lancelot's Mail.
Lancelot's Mailbox is a different kind of film.
Well, don't Google it.
Yeah, that's no don't hashtag Lancelot's Mailbox.
I think I said Lancelot's Mail Hole.
Okay.
It's medieval times, friend.
Yeah. Sorry. This is the car hole. No, we're not getting into that. I don't really know what the fuck is happening in this movie right now. I stopped taking really good notes. Jean Grey is kind of pissy again with Josh Hartnett.
But she's an alien now.
But she's an alien now.
Yeah, they sex her up right
Right.
quick.
So the minute she becomes an alien, she loses the glasses, she gets a bang trim, and she's looking good. And I believe during this altercation between her and Josh Hartnett says, "Fuck you, tit bags." Is that
what he says to her?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, just all the more reason to be expelled.
Yeah.
Like,
No, he's not a great student.
Where's the limit with this?
Yeah. But it was at this point.
Is that really what he says?
Yeah, it is.
Oh my God.
It was at this point that, so now we kind of have the team up happening here. We've got Josh Hartnett, we've got Stokes, we've got Jordana Brewster, the jock guy.
Or Stokey.
Stokey, whatever. And
Stan. Oh yeah, we got
Stan and Elijah Wood and Mary Beth.
And it's off to a drug shed we go.
Well, first they as a unit decide, wait a minute, this is probably aliens because of books that are about the same thing.
Oh yeah, the philosophical talk.
Do they have a philosophical fucking talk, which is really dumb. But then they're like, wait a minute, I found what's probably an alien in the football field earlier, and it's in a fish tank right now. And they're like, oh, maybe we should go check that out.
Yeah, it's Delilah and Elijah Wood. They have this. Well, it's more Elijah Wood. He has this philosophical talk, which is just bananas. He's
Which
like,
one's Delilah?
That's Jordana Brewster.
Okay.
They're like kind of hiding out for a second. And he's like, listen, she brings up, or one of them brings up body snatchers, and he's like, yeah, like it's just like that, but it's an original story. Or is he talking to Stokes with this?
I think he's talking to Stokes.
Yeah, well, like
it doesn't fucking matter.
Just the philosophy is insane. He's like, well, what if that was real? She's like, well, it's not.
Yeah.
He's like,
well, what if it is and it's happening right now?
So what if that author's real? No, we got to go on that. Like, that's the philosophy. Like, the story we heard all along, well, it's now real. So I think we've seen a lot of like horror movies like this, like the fairy tales you were told as kids. What if they weren't fairy tales?
Yeah. And this is that, but really stupid.
The fairy tales you were told as kids. What if they were fairies? Do you like Tinkerbell? Do you like Stardust? Tales.
So, but yeah, they go to find the fucking worm in the fish tank. Mm-hmm. It's not there.
It's like a tequila worm.
But Jon Stewart is. But
like a tequila bottle.
But he's an alien now. So he kind of freaks out on him a little bit. Josh Hartnett fashions a machete out of a paper cutter and cuts his fingers off.
Oh.
And Jon Stewart's like, "Fuck, you dick."
I can't sing anymore.
And no more fingering for him. But then Josh Hartnett stabs him in the eye with one of his drug pens, and his face turns into like Alka-Seltzer.
Yeah, well. Whoops.
And they're all like, "Oh fuck, no! It's really aliens. We got to get the fuck out of here." So they get in Josh Hartnett's car and go to his drug lab.
Yeah. So imagine you had a stable, or it really looks like, imagine just a very elaborate, elongated boathouse.
Yeah. Well, it's like a barn or like an addition to the house or what, I don't know.
And it's really nice.
It is really nice.
And then you open the door and you realize this kid is straight up running a meth lab.
Right.
There's beakers everywhere. I mean, I don't know how much any of this crap would cost, but like, so it's the late 90s. I don't know. This guy's got like thousands and thousands of dollars of equipment. He did say he steals from the science lab.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be this. Like, it couldn't be.
Well, he's also a drug dealer. And
right.
They typically tend to.
Well, he's making drugs.
Yeah. Well, but he might have started off small and scaled up his operation. It's all about vertical integration. That's how we afforded that car.
Nice.
Yeah. But so he has a drug lab. He also is apparently a genius biologist.
Yeah, he's even telling Jon Stewart like what's what. He's like, "Let me get behind the microscope." Edward Furlong.
Right. But
you want to lead the resistance? Look at this. Look at this chooch.
Yes. But back in his lab, Wait, they had a worm from somewhere. Where did they get it from?
Oh, because someone exploded. It was Jon Stewart. They took his like ear.
Oh yeah, it
earworm
fell
or
out of his ear or something. Yeah, yeah. So they got one of these things, and he's like doing biopsies on it. He's dissecting it. He's like, "Oh, here's the problem," and he gives part of it to his rat, and then his rat turns into a monster.
as they do.
And the rat, he just breaks the rat's neck. It's pretty sad.
Yeah,
But so now they kind of see what they're dealing with.
very of mice and men situation.
Yeah, and now they're all like, "But wait, any of us could be one of them."
We gotta do drugs, yo.
We gotta. How are we gonna find out if we're all human? We all have to do drugs.
Guys, I'm gonna say the craziest things, but for the first time in my life, drugs need to save all of our lives.
Yeah. So they all do. They all snort his little pen meth or whatever it is.
Mike literally looked at me and goes, "I'm scared straight."
I was scared straight. I dared to not do drugs. But they all passed the test. Everyone's fine.
No, not at all.
Not at all. No.
Nope.
One of them.
That is misleading.
One of them
information.
was not fine.
Yeah, so
was-
Delilah, Jordana Brewster, goes, and she gets all worm faced.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like worms in my face.
No.
So her skin is literally crawling with like beetle worms.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
No.
And she flips shit. She immediately jumps around and just wrecks shop. Josh Hartnett's drug lab is no more. His basis of his drug lab was like no-dose sleeping pills or something like that.
Yeah, it was like it was like a, I don't know. It was caffeine powder and like some.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, who the fuck knows?
You guys doing weird stuff.
But the people that took it seemed to really enjoy it.
They loved his haircut.
Yeah, they did.
That guy came up to me.
That's
with
how
it.
he got the haircut, because he gave someone some of this fucking drug, and they're like, "Let's cut your hair, bro."
Hey man, you know it'd be really trippy that I cut your hair right now. Oh, I do like that. Sorry, going back for a second. As they're all doing their drugs, I don't know what the effects are supposed to really be like. But everyone seems to be like, "Whoa, man, things are weird." But
Except for Elijah Wood.
Elijah Wood goes into Joker mode. Yeah, he's like teenage Joker. Like, yeah, he becomes Gollum in this movie. In this movie that I've seen before.
Yeah, yeah. But Delilah wrecks shop and gets the fuck out of there. And they come to the conclusion, they're like, okay, well, if this is actually just like the Body Snatchers, the way to fix this is to kill the original one, because then everyone else will go back to normal, because that makes total sense.
Yeah, sure. You got to kill the queen.
Yeah.
They did establish, and I don't know how this was. It was not with Professor Edward Furlong, as you would think it would be, that I think Josh Hartnett is like, oh, wait, they're dependent. Like they need other things, so like they scatter out, but like they really like serve a bigger master.
Right.
And I don't really know how he knows that.
Because he cut one open and he looked inside of it, and it was written in there or something.
I mean, his scientific opinion as a senior is valid enough for me. I mean, like,
Yeah.
this guy's got a meth lab and probably like the king of the cola machine at at the school cafeteria. So
they decide that this is the case, and again, based on no information, they decide that Lilith, the principal, is probably the leader, because she's the leader of their school, so naturally she would be the leader of the aliens.
yeah,
Yeah.
sound logic.
Yeah, of course.
And that's the logic of a teenager in high school,
Right.
and not some genius.
Not a genius.
No.
So they concoct a plan. They're going to go to the high school and fucking stab her in the face with, the drug pen. And, they do.
They do.
But they get there. It's the big football game. And during the football game, the football team, they're all aliens now. Every time they tackle someone from the other team, they just like drop a little alien in their nose.
Yeah, of course. Duh.
So they're, now like they're spreading. Everyone's getting all aliened up.
Do you even alien anymore? Jeez.
But Lilith finds them in Lilith finds them in the gym where they're hiding out.
But they're not really hiding. It's their trap. We're all going to hang out, and she's going to come and see me.
Yeah. So then they tackle her, and she's like, "No, I'm not. What are you talking about?
They're going to make her take the
I don't want to do the drugs." And because he's a big fucking wiener, Elijah Wood's like, well, I don't want to do it.
So Josh Hartnett just shoots her in the head.
Josh Hartnett shoots her in the fucking head.
And then, very, very calmly, Elijah Wood goes, I think we maybe made a mistake.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could say that under the duress of aliens and various other things, but I'd probably be freaking the hell out.
Yeah.
Especially if we just killed an innocent person.
Right.
But lucky enough for him, she stands up and she is not dead.
She is not dead. So how they handle this is Mary Beth, who hasn't really said a lot, and who is also holding a jar with the entirety of their drug supply in it.
Yeah.
She just fucking throws it in her face.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
it's like a mayonnaise jar of
of drugs.
of pixie dust.
And it melts the fuck out of Lilith. But then they're like, wait, was that all of it? And she's like, oh, I don't know. Foreshadowing some shit there. But yeah. But what doesn't happen is not everyone goes back to normal. So they're like, fuck it, this wasn't the head alien person.
Yeah, that is not metal.
No, it was not metal.
That is not even indie metal.
No. No. But they're out of drugs now. So
yeah, which is not metal either.
No, it's very, very not metal. But Josh Hartnett's like, you know what? I think I have some in my trunk. So Elijah Wood, why don't you come with me and we'll go get it?
Yeah, and they're like, zipping around that all the football team is looking after them. This is very cartoony. They're dodging in and out of buses and stuff like this, going under buses. And Elijah Wood looks at Josh Hartnett and goes, did you even need me? Couldn't this be one person? He's like, yeah, but I needed a distraction. I'm like, are you... all right, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, man. Cool, dude. Yeah. So Elijah Wood splits off and runs into a bus, like he goes
inside of it.
Yeah,
he doesn't run into the
side. Yeah. So imagine this is like a bus depot. There's 40 buses. He runs inside of a bus. Why would you do this? So Delilah gets in, possessed Delilah. Mm-hmm. That's Jordana for Mike out there.
Thank you.
And she's like, become one of us. You'll never feel pain. It's awesome. Like, you're a loser, but now I'm cool and blah, blah, blah. And all these football players are trying to break in from the emergency exit out back. And like a Spider-Man, he jumps up the emergency exit on the ceiling of the bus. And then is just on the rooftop and then runs off. And then we don't see him for a little bit.
It was a strong move.
I mean, it's great when you could use the Force. That's like Luke Skywalker fighting Darth Vader. Like he jumped like 10 feet.
Yeah. No, I mean he did, and it worked. It was a Hail Mary.
Sometimes he gets scared like a cat.
Meanwhile, back at the car, Josh Hartnett is going through the trunk looking for drugs, but oh no, Jean Grey shows. What is her character's name? Do you know?
It's Miss something.
Yeah, who the fuck cares?
Burke. I think it's Miss Burke, to be honest with you.
Burke. She shows up, and again, she's looking fine. Burke,
yeah, boom.
Yeah, nice. Burke. Good work. And she kind of starts to fuck him up a little bit.
She's like, I've got the golden eye.
She did have the golden eye.
Of alien hatred.
Yeah. So I don't remember how they got in the car, but
I could tell you.
Yeah, tell me.
So he's like, oh yeah, like, you know what I got? I got something you like. And she's like, yeah.
Oh yeah, he's like,
what is it?
What if we fucked in the car?
So, but she's an alien now. So I'm like, why is any of this happening? And he's like, 1 second. And he jumps in his car and like very well does it and starts it immediately. Mm-hmm. Like imagine in one fluid motion, you open the door with like your left hand, jump in, kind of like hook with your right shoulder, simultaneously put the keys in the ignition, turn it while slamming the door like with your left hand and just getting seated perfectly, hitting the gas. It all works out. She just jumps through the passenger window and she is now in the car.
Right.
And so that's how she gets in.
Okay, that makes sense, yeah. But he decides to do the classic, I'll put my seatbelt on and ram into something move.
Of course.
Yeah, obviously.
I mean, stage one, you put on your seatbelt, of course, and you go full speed and ram into a bus, and only the bus explodes, and it's the front of the bus.
Right.
And why is it exploding?
Who knows? But we also have some amazing dummy work as a mannequin dressed up as Jean Grey is thrown across the field on fire.
Yes. And that is the end of Jean Grey. I guess she didn't see that coming.
Well, it's almost the end of her. We
yeah.
see her body getting up, and she doesn't have a head anymore.
Oh, that's right. It scatters off.
It's kind of comical. Like
it's like Mars Attacks.
yeah, well, yeah, and her head is it's like Kodos and Krang. Like her head has tentacles, and it's like walking around. Yeah, it was fucking stupid. What? Oh, okay. But now we're back in the gym, and Stokey is talking to Mary Beth, and Mary Beth is saying some weird fucking shit.
Yeah, and just I'm gonna cut to the chase. It immediately turns into an alien.
Immediately turns into an alien. A huge tentacle alien.
The pretense of all of this has been Mary Beth is new. Maybe she's an alien.
Mm-hmm.
She is.
Yeah.
Everyone saw it coming.
Correct.
No one is surprised.
No.
Got it. They got me.
Yeah. and when they're deconstructing it, like, how did you, but you took the drug. She's like,
That's my favorite part.
or did I? And it's like a flashback to, I mean, okay, so.
The drugs are Bic pens
Yeah.
that the ink is removed.
Yeah, and filled with powder. And
Yeah,
you
so-
snort it
yeah.
like a jolly thing. Yeah, so flashback, and she's like, but what you didn't see was this. And it's her using her alien powers to close her nostrils while her pinky turns into a tentacle, unscrews the pen cap, and all the drugs fall out, allowing her to pretend to snort it. She was 1 feet away from somebody when she was doing this, and no one noticed her hand turning into a tentacle.
The biggest thing is that there already was a distraction. Delilah actually takes it.
Right.
And so now that the reveal, which I'm not going to tell you full on, is Mary Beth is the queen.
Yeah.
Mary Beth needs to be stopped. So the logically, you think this soldier of sorts did take the drug to defend the queen. That was the distraction. And the flashback could have been like, oh, I dumped the powder.
Right.
But simultaneously, they take it and Delilah freaks out and then like wrecks shop, as I said, in the
Right.
lab. But this whole, there was this alien finger claw and it unscrewed things
Yeah.
and then it dropped it. You didn't see it. I'm like, what the hell? Then why didn't the other person do that too? Come on.
Yeah. Who the fuck knows? Because she's there with Stokey, my note is Stokey is not stoked.
That's fair.
Yeah, she wasn't, because
not.
she gets her face smashed into the floor and like,
Oh, this is brutal.
Yeah, it is brutal.
They run into this like pool area and she just gets like tentacle faced.
Yeah.
And she goes face down on the floor and it is just like blood coming out of her mouth. It looks awful.
Yeah.
That is like a hard hit. That was the worst scene for me.
Yeah, that was pretty gross. But she drags her into the pool. Mary Beth is now just a huge tentacle alien swimming around in the pool like nothing's wrong. But then turns back into naked Mary Beth and gets out of the pool and is just walking around.
Yeah, this nude scene is super weird. So she is like now fully walking around nude.
Yeah.
But sort of is like covered in the shadows, and I don't know what they're going for here. Like it's supposed to be maybe like sexy and sultry.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
It's not, and it's really just like awkward, and I don't know why this is happening.
Yeah, well, and at this point, Josh Hartnett and Elijah Wood show back up.
Yeah,
and they're like, "What the fuck is this?" And
I like that. For a second, they try to play one another.
yeah, they're like, "Oh no, she's the alien." No, it's her. And Elijah Wood's like, "Wait, is it? Are you sure it's not the fucking naked one?"
Yeah, Josh Hartnett goes,
"Oh, is it? Yeah.
Why are you naked?"
Yeah.
Like,
oh right, it's that. Yeah.
Whoops. Yeah.
Yeah. So she turns back into the monster, fucks Josh Hartnett up, just like yeets him across the room. I think they lock Stokes in like a cage or something.
Yeah.
She's
infected.
Yeah, she is infected at this point.
I mean, she was in a pool of all of this.
It's everywhere. It's in her raccoon.
Yeah,
wounds.
Josh Hartnett just gets the shit kicked out of
Yeah.
him. He is not infected.
No.
Just
But he did bring along some extra drug pens, which now Elijah Wood has. So
Yes.
now it's the showdown. Elijah Wood has the drug pens, but he's also running away from a giant monster. So he runs back into the gym, and it's those like I don't like the bleachers in a gym that like expand out of the
Yeah.
wall.
Like it's the collapsible
Yeah.
auditorium gymnasium.
Yeah, so there's a button that mechanically retracts these. Because they're out, and he runs behind it, and the alien gives chase, and like one rack at a time, these things are collapsing back into the wall, and it works. The alien gets pinned.
Yeah, it's 1 foot away from Elijah Wood.
It's like snapping its little tentacle jaws at him, and he just jams these pens in its fucking eye.
Yeah. And the queen is dead.
Queen is dead.
Checkmate, friend.
Yeah, suck it, everybody.
Boom.
And then we get a cut to 1 month later.
Yeah, 1 month later, everything's groovy.
Yeah, very groovy.
Everyone's paired off, which is really nice.
Yeah, everyone's fucking. Josh Hartnett joined the football team, and he's during practice smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm in the football team now. So he isn't paired off, but he's still the bad boy. And T2 is like, get over here. Put out that butt. Yeah, his football player is just smoking on the field.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine a time frame where a coach would not go insane ballistic.
Right.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But there, you see like newspaper flashes like hero or crazy person. Like, did the boy save the world from aliens, or is he a douchebag?
Yes.
No one knows.
Yeah, Stan is now hooked up with Stokely.
Stan and Stokely are together.
And Elijah Wood is now hooked up with Delilah.
Yeah.
Because somehow a romance budded that never was established in this film until this very moment. And they're
Right.
like, oh, you.
Right. Like the super attractive girl is now with the wiener kid who looks like he is 20 years younger than she is.
That is correct.
But yeah, she's like, how does it feel to be a hero? He's like,
Yeah, and the very last scene is like, oh, there's more press. They're always here to see you. Is it local or national? I think it's both. And then
yeah.
they walk towards them, I think.
Yeah. And then there's like a Limp Bizkit song or something, and the movie ends.
Girl, it's Limp Bizkit.
I don't
There's
remember.
The faculty.
Was there like a noteworthy
Shibby
song
doo doo.
at the end?
No, just, at one point in time, there was the super group highlighting another brick in the wall cover.
That song fucking sucked.
It was rough go. It was rough central. It was not sounding good.
No.
Just listen to the Pink Floyd version. Good God.
Yeah.
Well, before we get into the final synopsis, as always, feel free to write us at rabbittroopsuckspodcast@gmail.com. Let us know if you have any movie suggestions, or if you have any ideas for us, or you're just into good times, or you want to get to know Mike a little further. Mike is a saucy fella. He likes to party. He likes to hear from you, and he is willing to give you his phone number and his personal email and all of his personal interests.
Yeah.
Let us know how much you love us on a scale of 5 to 5 on all of the rating systems. You can listen to us on any formal podcast service. So if you're listening to us on one and like another format, listen to us there. Go to our webpage directly, rabbittroopsucks.com.
Yeah.
Hit us up on Gmail or Instagram.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
I'll do a little light begging today. However you're listening to this, whatever platform, like us on it. There's probably a button where you can like us or give us a rating.
Go to all the platforms.
Yeah.
Be like, oh my God, I'm going to like them here. I'm going to like them there.
Yeah, so like,
I'm going to like them everywhere.
We know you're listening, but the more you like us, just but you don't have to say anything. Just click on the stars. It lets the platforms know that we're doing all right, and that gives us more opportunities to get you more content, which is presumably what you want. It's what we want. So yeah, that's my weekly ask. However you're listening, just engage with us a little bit. You don't have to use words, but
If you do use words and they are vocal, I'd prefer them directed at Mike, and preferably with a voice changer. So it's like, hello, Mike, I know what you are doing. I will find you. And I'll be like, that is great. That is directed towards Mike.
yeah,
That is fine.
that's how I like to wake up in the morning.
Michael set that as his ringtone for many things.
I will. Yeah.
So Mike, how much did you love The Faculty?
Oh my God.
How amazing was The Faculty for you?
So I was excited to watch this movie because it was a Robbie Rodriguez movie. I might now have changed my mind about whether or not I think he is a good director.
Wow.
Because the directing in this movie was terrible. Like, the action sequences were awful. There were so many weird, like, not effects, but like camera tricks that sucked. The way this movie was filmed did not land with me at all.
The special effects for the monster changing at the end is awful.
No, it is awful.
It is never good.
No,
even for 98.
No, it looked really terrible. I will say when the tentacle monster is swimming in the pool and turns into the naked girl, I thought that looked kind of good. Like, just because like the monster kind of like dissolves into the shadow.
Yeah, it was kind of like smaller. It was like the more grand the monster became, the worse the special effects were.
Yeah, that scene I thought looked good, but everything else was atrocious.
If it was like more human form, it made sense. But it was like, I'm gonna just be like a, like 20-foot monster. You're like, oh my god, it looked bad.
Yeah,
I don't really have something comparable. Just it looked bad. Like, even for the time, it looked bad.
Yeah, and again, maybe it's not the time for this anymore, but like, this is just one of those movies where no one in this movie ever made a real human decision. And when everything that a person does doesn't seem realistic, it really breaks it off for me.
Yeah, this movie has a lot of potential. I mean, this movie references, body snatchers, various other things.
I like that it references a movie that is the same movie, but considerably better.
Yes. Yeah. So you have something that is referencing something better, and you could go off that and play that and be like, this is more the modern telling, and it's taking place more in a high school. You have all the components. You have awesome cast members. Right. I don't really dislike anyone. I think everyone does a successful job. I think the story that they were given was kind of crappy. Everyone is ultra cliched. As Mike was saying, it's like, someone puts on or off glasses. You are either attractive or not. Like, that's how she's all that, try to present this to us. Like, I mean, it's crazy. She took off her glasses. She's so beautiful. She puts them on. She's not. Like, what the hell are you talking about? This is super weird. That I think is problematic on its own. Everyone's actions in this movie are completely unrealistic. These kids are... this should have been a college-level movie. I often say that. Like, why is this happening in high school? Just make them more their ages. Because when... you go off to Josh Hartnett's drug lab bar, and it's like, oh, my parents are never here. They just let me, like, live in this mansion house. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like No,
that's a good point. Like, yeah, because obviously all of the actors were in their early to mid-20s in this movie. I mean, I guess we need to have movies about high school for people in high school to go watch, but like, yeah, there's so many leaps of faith you have to make with these shitty high school dramas or horror movies. Like, where are anyone's parents? The only parents
this movie's rated R.
Yeah, like, right, like, just make these people a normal adult age. They could just be shitty adults or college students or like, a bunch of fucking vagrants. Like, placing it in high school makes it stupider.
Here is the same horror trope time and time again, but I'll take it and just throw this in the mix. They're all in college. They're going on spring break. They rented out a house. Like, I could buy that everyone could scrape together enough money to rent out like a really nice house, and 20 people show up.
Right.
Like, I could see that happening.
Yeah.
Like, boom. And then you realize part of these people are aliens. Or how about this? You are on a college athletics team and you are traveling, and some people are like, I'm going to come with to support. It's an out-of-town thing. So, like, you have someone's girlfriend and the coach, and you have the same people, and you have another team, and it's at a school, and this is why it's happening in college, in a college town.
Right. Or just, I mean, put it in a context that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, but I have that issue with a lot of movies.
It could be like career opportunities. You're working at a Target late one night. Jennifer Connelly is just hanging out. A couple burglars get in. Pandemonium.
Yeah.
Pandemonium.
Sexy pandemonium.
Thinking about that rocking horse.
I am thinking about the rocking horse, yeah.
Weird.
Jennifer Connelly is just she's always looked good. Like barring the time when she was like a child, but like career opportunities on. Even now, she's like 75 or whatever. But in the new Top Gun, she's looking great.
I don't think Jennifer Connelly's 70.
No, I think she's like maybe just a little older than us.
That's
But no, she looks really good. She's always looked really good. But the new Top Gun was fucking stupid. I don't care what anyone says.
I have still yet to see it.
It's so fucking boring. It's just like the first one. It's boring and stupid.
Is it beautiful and Top Gunny?
I mean, I'm like the only person in the world that doesn't like Top Gun, I guess, but whatever. But yeah, I mean, this movie just had so many, like when you base your movie off of a better movie, and in that movie you have to reference the better movie to make this movie make sense.
And you got a recipe for success.
Like you're already having the only reason the characters in this movie understood what was going on was because they're like, it's probably like Body Snatchers.
Yeah, that's insane. Yeah. There's a lot of recipes for good parts to this, and I'm saying yes, various recipes, because some of this could have been good at least in certain areas.
Yeah.
As I said, like I like the crew that they assembled. I feel every actor could do well. The potential story is super good. Outside of we forgot to say that when Josh Hartnett is playing football at the very end, Miss Burke is just sitting at the stands, looking at him directly.
But she's got glasses on again, so you know she's back.
And he looks right at her. Like
they're fucking. They're 100% fucking.
Yeah, she's just going to games. Yeah. Like, oh my god. Okay, so yeah, you have some weird decisions, as I was about to note. Like the problem, like the story starts affecting this. Like all of this could have been changed. This could have been way better. The story is not great. The special effects are not great. It's a bunch of great people who did not come together and have things go well.
I will say, like, I liked all, except for Jon Stewart. I liked all of the teachers. Lilith, I thought was great. The Commandant was great. Because he just plays the Commandant. Selma Hayek is always good. I don't remember any of the other teachers, but yeah, like I thought like the adults in this movie were doing an okay job. Oh, Robert Patrick is fucking rad and everything.
Yeah. Everyone does great. Like, yeah, totally. Like, let's phrase it like that. All the like who are supposed to be the adults, all the supposed adults, they do a great job in everything that they're doing, and that's the problem. That they don't have a great story. Like, it's just not great. Some of what they're doing early on before the aliens, I guess. Like when it's more like American Pie and Clueless, it's fun. Then the aliens come, and then the story sucks.
Yeah.
And the special effects suck.
Yeah.
And everyone's actions suck.
Correct.
And it's not great.
No.
Which is funny, because I could say pretty much fill in the blank with everything I just said, and say The Book of Boba Fett, same director. Boom.
What? Oh, Robbie Rodriguez.
Yeah.
The Book of Boba Fett was a terrible show.
But you have a bunch of great people and the ingredients for something that could have been amazing.
Right.
And so that's what I'm saying. Fill in the blank. I could interchangeably talk about this or the Book of Boba Fett and have the exact same complaints.
Yeah. You take one of the coolest, most beloved Star Wars character, and then you make him do like chores for 7 episodes that we now have to watch for some reason.
That's great.
Yeah.
Feel the struggle day by day.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a virtual reality game where you just like have to do all that. Like come home from your job and you have to log in like 5 more hours before you could actually get to the next level or whatever it is.
I felt like the whole series of Book of Boba Fett was like the first 3 levels of any role-playing game where it's like, you're the legendary hero of yore. You have to save the world. But first, my chickens got out. So if you could wrangle them up for me, that'd be great.
Classic story in Zelda.
Yeah, no, it is like the early stages of Zelda. Like, we know you have to beat Ganon or whatever, and the world depends on it. But before you do, I've got a list of shit for you to do.
If you want to find a fraction of a heart piece, this is the only way it's going to happen, friend.
Right.
Get to chickening.
Yeah, so Robbie Rod, I don't know what the fuck happened here. I don't know what you were doing with Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
I guess if I had to, I might just like Desperado. That might be the only
Like
movie
El
where-
Mariachi?
Well, I mean, he did both of them.
Yeah.
And they're the same movie, but one's in English.
Yes.
And I like the one that's in English better
And From Dusk Till Dawn.
because it has Antonio Banderas. And I do like From Dusk Till Dawn a lot.
Even though your full hatred of Grindhouse, he did do the second half Planet Terror.
Well, the second half was better for me than the first half. I just don't like Quentin Tarantino.
But what about the second half, which was Rodriguez?
Yeah, that was better. I didn't really enjoy the whole experience. It was too fucking long. And by the time I got to the Robbie Rod stuff, I had listened to an hour and a half of Quentin Tarantino dialogue, which makes me want to kill myself. Yeah.
I completely disagree. I'm just going.
No, I everyone does it. Like when Quentin Tarantino writes two characters talking to each other, it makes me want to die. Everything that those, I mean, and this is going to sound sexist because that movie was primarily female driven. Everything that those women said to each other was the most boring thing in the world for me, and they wouldn't stop talking. I wanted Stuntman Mike to kill all of them just so I didn't have to hear them talk anymore.
Rosario Dawson will be Ahsoka. So everyone's going to dip their hands into the Star Wars pool.
Yeah, I mean, she's a good Ahsoka.
Yeah.
She was terrible in the new Clerks movie. This is going off the rails. We need to stop.
The rails are broken, friends.
But the new Clerks movie is unwatchable.
The rails are broken.
Yeah. It's
Well-
like the third rail that electrocutes you.
Well, this movie's bonkers.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, this is my view. Is it great? No. I don't regret watching it.
I don't regret watching it
Yeah,
either.
I totally had fun in scenes. It's just, it's really the potential. You will see, like, you should watch it. It's a trip back. I don't know. It's fun enough. I mean, 25 years
guess, yeah.
ago. It's like, as I said, a trip back. It's fun to see a lot of notable things, but it could have been so much more memorable. I think that's really the shame.
Yeah. I'll probably never watch this movie again. But
I bought it for Mike on Blu-ray. I put it on all of his streaming services, much like how you can listen to Rabbit Troop Sucks on any streaming service that has podcasts.
you can do that.
Next up, we've got some No Escape, where you think you've entered and you could escape. They told you at the door you're not going to escape.
No.
You're like, hey, what if I escape? They're like, hey, no escape, fella.
Okay. Ain't got no time for that.
I'm like, what if I escape with a series of air balloons looking up? And I'm like, what did I say before, fella?
Yeah.
No escape.
Just no goddamn escape. Well, next week, Ray Liotta will tell you all about that. He is dead, though. Unlike Tim Curry, who I'm an idiot and thought he was dead, but he's not.
Ray Liotta is deceased.
Yeah.
That is correct.
R.I.P.
I think there's something else that he's coming out, like, that he was associated with, but I do believe Cocaine Bear was his last, like, full role.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I read about this, but it was like, he'll be like a cameo in something.
Okay.
That was already filmed, but like, I think it was Cocaine Bear was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sad. No more of that, honey.
You got to get the Ray Liotta honey.
Yeah.
We were promised. Check it out on eBay. Check it out on the Googs.
Is this our longest ep?
I can't imagine. The
Are you
Halloween
sure?
episode is like 4 hours
Oh,
long.
yeah, that was, with that trivia and the candy pelting. Okay. Well,
As always, thanks for listening.
yeah.
We appreciate you listening. We appreciate you feeling fresh and groovy.
Yeah.
So, if you're listening to this today, thanks. And Mike has one final plug for you.
Yeah, my plug is if you think your friends are aliens, make them do drugs with you.
Oh, and they could go see you.
Oh, yeah.
Like
And
today,
yeah.
if you like today.
Is it what?
Yeah, today. They can
Today?
go see you today.
Today. You can go tonight. If you're listening to this during the day, you can go see me play music at Lost Lake.
Yeah, and I encourage you to yell, Rabbit Troop Sucks.
Yeah, Rabbit Troop Sucks.
Tell it to Mike.
I'll wear the t-shirt.
All the things you've wanted to say all breathy, all up in his ear. Tell
Yeah.
it to him.
Yeah, just bring it with you.
Yeah. As always, Rabbit Troop Sucks.